Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Appreciate it. So, good morning. A couple things to go over today. Things are looking good. I wouldn't say things are looking terrible this morning. Got a couple opportunities that look like they're presenting themselves. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Good morning. Good morning. ATAI, yeah, I mean, I guess we could take a look. I think I looked at it earlier and was really not that impressed. But yeah, we'll see. Interesting stock, though. And I'm probably going to say it's probably not going to turn into the best trader on the day. Probably stay away from ATAI. Jill, let me take a look. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that is worth watching long today. That is one that is worth watching long, Jill. Yep, we'll touch on that maybe a little bit later. So we'll just touch on the first stock, which is Roku. Roku's been on the watch list a couple days now. Not necessarily because it's the best trader, just because I understand it. So, anyways, we bounced. Excuse me, short squeeze bounce day. Then we pulled back, consolidated yesterday. Today we're starting with a slight gap up to the upside. So, we came down hard. We filled the gap. We've bounced again, and we're curling up. So good chance we could see a nice push on Roku to the upside. So I'm going to be following Roku long bias today, and you can see the stock has, obviously come down quite a bit into a structural bounce zone. We've kind of squeezed up a little bit, but now we started to base and we're starting to curl up. So this, again, if Roku truly wants to bounce from this level, this area, you'd probably see the price up to about 98, 99, or 100, and then it would roll over. So if it does, in fact, want a legitimate bounce, we could expect to see Roku up towards 98 to 100 in the next couple days of trading. So today, still watching Roku long bias. I've been long Roku for the past 2 days, this day, and I'm probably going to be long again on it today. So really just following it long, see if we kind of pick up and start trending to the upside on this stock after its big move down. Okay. Let's see. Yep. So keeping a close eye on Roku. All right, next one, PRGS. PRGS earnings play gaps up pretty big. I was considering getting short on it when it was about 47.60. Didn't pull the trigger because I didn't like the way the spread was. Anyways, if we look at the yearly chart, or actually 4-hour chart, you'll see that it had a strong earnings report or play not too long ago. Last report had a strong earnings report, right? Stock pushes up, opens up, and it drops from 48 down to 43.50. So about 4.5 point drop from the opening 1 minute opening bell. You get the point from open to low of day. So today it has a strong push to the upside, and we've entered back into that sell zone from the last earnings report. So you're going to have people that held the bag last time, right? PRGS had earnings, it's spiking up, and then people buy into the hype, and then they get left holding the bag at around $48, and then trails all the way down. They wake up today, they see that the stock is back up towards 48. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm back to break even. I would just want to get out, and they're going to sell. So they add to the resistance here. So today, going to be more short bias on PRGS, and I will be long bias. Doesn't mean I'll short it out of the gate. Maybe. Doesn't mean that it might go long first. Maybe. So still tracking price action, but I do anticipate that there is going to be a short play on this. So definitely following PRGS for a short play today. Actually, no, I'm long bias on BYND today, initially, but we are probably turning into a sell-off soon. Yeah, it depends on your broker whether or not they allow pre-market trading or not. So PRGS following short bias. AMD was a long. I don't know if it still is. It's debatable. But pre-market, I liked it for a long up into about a price of 30.50. With the way it's moving, if it wants to continue the strong push to the upside, I think we could see AMD up towards $31.40 today, near this previous top area. So I think it's still worth watching AMD to the long side today. Am I going to trade it? Maybe, maybe not. I have my eyes set on some other things, but I think with the way it's moving, it is more on a bullish attack right now. So I'd probably keep it on watch long up until maybe $30.40 today. All right, nothing too much more there. Over to BYND. So BYND, I'm already long on it from this morning on a dip pre-market. Don't normally trade pre-market, but I said what the hell, kind of liked it. So ended up grabbing shares on the absolute low of this candle right here. You'll see this candle came down to the VWAP at 170. Or 167. That's where I own 100 shares, is at 167. Might add to it, depends on how it moves. But let me go back to the 4-hour chart. So I like the way this 4-hour chart was moving. We bounced, we kind of held resistance. Now we're kind of up and over. So now this is into a level where we could see a squeeze. So just kind of anticipating we have a green day on BYND. So that's why I'm long the 100 shares. If it starts to pull back and get all weird, then I'll end up taking them off. But I think BYND could be set up for a nice green day just based on the formation, right? A lot of people have been trying to short this stock. So with the way that it's moving, we could very easily have a squeeze to the upside on a situation like today. So got long, 100 shares, hoping it just stays here pre-market, doesn't really do too much more moving. I would like to see the open where it's at. I would rather this not just crap out, but again, is what it is. So down about $40 right now currently on that. Then somebody asked about Jill, right? So Jill, there's news that the Jill director buys more than 136,000 shares. So of course the thing spikes and goes crazy. But just based on the technical side, there's a really big gap to fill to the upside. So I think Jill is worth watching for a potential gap fill up to 358. Doesn't mean it's going to happen today. Not necessarily. Could it happen a year later? Yes. So there is a gap to fill. Whether or not now is the time, give me a crystal ball and I'll tell you. But definitely worth watching for a long play as of right now based on the news and just the chart that it has. ACB breakout. No, ACB is not going to really break out because ACB has very far to go for a breakout, so it can't really break out. ACB has all the way above $10.28 for a breakout, so you can't. There is no breakout there until it gets over that price action for the most part. Or at least over a significant resistance spot. But it is moving in a good manner. I was considering getting long on this. I think I even said that yesterday. There was a bullish divergence on this chart. Almost got long, but said the hell with it. Didn't end up getting long. But it was on the watch to consider for a long play. So it's starting to trend in the right direction. And I think that in the future, we're going to see ACB up over 10, 12. I think we'll see it up towards $20 eventually, personally. So still keeping ACB on watch, longer term for myself as well. JNUG did do a reverse split. Yes, you're correct. BA, will it bounce? BA already bounced from yesterday. So, yeah, BA already bounced. So I think I am more short bias on Boeing today. Again, I don't really have a reason to want to be long bias, so I'm just being short bias. Do I like the way the chart looks for a short or to the downside? Not particularly. Not the greatest look, but yeah, I'd probably be more inclined to see it go down than up at this point. MU. Yeah, I haven't really looked at MU after their earnings. Oh, it's kind of squeezed up again. Real nice. Ooh, but it hit that. But it did. Right to 40. Yeah, makes sense. 100 moving average, bang, right there. A little over. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess MU did top out a bit. Yeah, watch it. If it kind of squeezes up and puts in a lower high around 40, I'd probably get short on MU today, maybe. The only problem is it's not really at a significant resistance. It's just at the mental dollar mark of 40. So I think it's still, still worth watching for a short play. Yeah, I'd probably be more of a seller on that stock now. Zoom, I think I'm more long bias Zoom today. Or at least I was. Maybe not anymore. Yeah, I would say with the way it kind of shot up yesterday. Yesterday was an anticipated long day. If you're on the stream yesterday, we said to watch Shop and Zoom long as well. I don't know if they're on the watch, but we talked about keeping Zoom and Shopify on watch long. So you can kind of see how it's moving. Basically, you have these big, strong candle. Ooh. Did I just think of something? Yeah, I'd be long Zoom today. You have a big, long candle here. Nice pullback. We're up. If it can get over 92.38 today, Zoom's probably a bit of a long play today. I'd like it long. Caesars, I mean, I don't really, I know they had to deal with someone, whoever that was, can't remember the name. Honestly, I'd probably be short bias. Yeah, I'd probably be short bias Caesars because it has the gap down to 10 to fill. So there's really there's about $1.60 worth of profit, $1.50 worth of profit to the downside. It could take you 4 weeks, 2 months to fill that gap. Quite a while, but I mean there's money to be made there. You got. I mean, like in reality, I mean you could do a trade right now. Like you could get short, right? Like say if you wanted to short, you could get short. You could have a stop loss just over 1174, right? So you're at 1160-ish, and I said 1174. So you could have about a 12 to 15 cent stop, and you could be targeting all the way down to about 1010, 1020. So it's 1 to 12 risk to reward right there. So you could be a short on this, anticipating a gap fill, a couple weeks to 2 months down the road. Only risking over 1174, or you could, be a little bit more aggressive with your stop. This one, you'd be more likely to get stopped out, but if you went with a stop above 12 right now, less likely you get stopped out. So you could go with the stop at 12, that's 1160, so then you got about a 40-cent stop with 1158 with about a $1.50 target. So 40-cent stop, $1.50, 40. You got about a 1 to 3, 1 to 3.5 risk to reward ratio trade right there, which is still good to take. So yeah, worth watching. I think so. Yeah, I think you could probably make money on Caesars to the short side. It won't be fast though. It's not going to be very fast, but yeah, you could probably make money doing that. ABBV, yep. We went over that yesterday a little bit. Yeah, well, I think you'd probably want to be long bias. I mean, it's kind of I don't know. It's one of those ones where it's like I understand both directions, but I would probably still be more long on it. But you have had 2 solid days. Actually, today usually what happens, the reason I'm so caught up on it is a lot of times when you get these really aggressive drops, they kind of bottom out, and then they'll have like 2 solid days, and then they pull back. So I think you're just you're in between a pullback area. I probably wouldn't be crazy about buying or trading this right now, because the trade should have been done around 65, 60, 66, 67. Now that it's at 70, it's kind of moved quite a bit back. So not as inclined. There's not as much opportunity to the upside based on normal trading patterns, right? But if something abnormal happened, then yeah, you can make a shit ton of money. But based on normal fluent movements in the market that we typically see, this is just not the best buy time. How do you read those? That we can't even go into that right now. That takes quite a bit of time to go over. But they're not normally colored this way. Normally they're all red. And you can change it by right-clicking and going to Edit Properties. And those are Fibonacci retracements. That's what those lines are. Like, what about CBD as in like actual CBD oil, or is that a stock? That's a stock. Big gap, so there's going to be a gap to fill at some point. Do I have an opinion on index funds? Yes. What would you like to know? So yeah, hold on, give me a second here. Yeah, this is a big gap. I probably wouldn't even, I myself wouldn't, I'm not crazy about it. I don't know enough about the company too in the first place, but based on the way it's gapped up, you're right into a sell location. So I imagine maybe another little push higher up towards 25, and then you're going to see some trading action that looks similar to this, right? We have a couple days that are just kind of ho-humming around, kind of just moving back and forth. So I don't think there's too much to go crazy on there. Do you know a reason Facebook is creating Libra? So I've read a bit about it. There's probably more info I could learn on it, but I mean, you got to think about it, right? I mean, Facebook, almost like, I don't know the numbers exactly, but I mean, if you just think about how many users are on Facebook, it would be well, actually, let me take a step back and rephrase that. If my goal was to create a new currency and have a lot of people use it and adopt this as the currency, the best way to do it would be go to where all the people are already at, and a lot of people are already on Facebook across the whole world. So it is literally the perfect platform to launch a currency from, right? You can't, like Fox News or like CNBC or whoever, right? If they go out and just talk about some new currency, only the viewers of that specific location and area are going to see it, right? But if you go to somewhere like Facebook, where it's generally been adopted around the whole world, everybody's going to take word or get wind of this currency fairly easily. And then you put it on a platform everybody uses. So it actually kind of makes good sense. I think it actually, if that's where the future is going, Facebook's in the right direction on that play. Wendy, I don't know. I don't know why your comment got held for review. It's just the way this like bot thing we put on. So I'll fix that here. But Nike, yeah, I'll take a look for sure. NKE. Well, there was like a slight bearish divergence, not really a great one, but there was a bearish divergence. So it's probably why we're seeing a little bit of Nike come down recently. So you got high to high, momentum trailing down. Strong bullish weekly candles here, bullish engulfing on the weekly chart. Two lower wick buys. I'd probably be more bullish on it. Yeah, I think today's actually maybe a day to be bullish on Nike. Just based on the way they did earnings recently, like a couple days ago. I didn't even know that. That's odd. Oh, it was yesterday. No shit. Makes sense. It was after hours yesterday. I'm like, really? I would have known so. Yeah, I kind of, I don't like the way it's formed for a short or anything or a sell. Right, you have this long lower wick down, it gets bought up. I mean, you have, right here, you have a curl, back up, dip curl pre-market. I think over like 80, 84 is going to be a good long play. I think over 84 would probably be your area to get long or consider it. Yeah, I like that. No. Yeah, so I think I like Nike there. Not bad. Okay. So it should basically cover it. Let's go look at Roku again. Roku back down, testing trend, not bad. BYND back up, making money. That's good. What was the other one? AMD. AMD holding and PRGS. Ooh, damn it. Should have done it. I was going to put a limit order in at PRGS at 4750's area, anticipating this gap to be filled, and then I could short, and I didn't. And now, kind of kicking myself for that one. That was pretty obvious. Pretty obvious. Well, okay then. Oh yeah, STZ Constellation Brands was up today pretty big off of earnings. Forgot about that. They have their earnings call at 10:30, so I think it's worth watching, but whenever there's an earnings call like in the middle of the day, the stocks always tend to trade really awkward. So I usually tend to stay away from those ones when they're in the middle of the day reporting a call. I don't have them. I don't use these candles. I don't use these candles, the red blue MACD candles. So I don't use these on like my regular trading screen. My regular trading screen's always like this. Even in our private group, our trading screen's always generally this, 2 stocks at a time on the screen. Then on like a separate screen to the right, I'll have these up. And these are just to kind of confirm some of the trades I'm making or to maybe consider not taking a trade every once in a while. So really just keep them on like a separate a separate screen. But this is generally how I trade based off of majority of the time. But yeah, I still use those a little bit. Yep. All right, let's see. Let me double check something else here. SPY. BAHVN. Chop your stock. It just is what it. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Me likey thatty. All right. Daily chart. Yes, I see now. Yes, very well then. Very well. Yeah, I'd probably be, well, I don't know what the news is, so don't take my word for it on that. I don't know why it dropped so much, but these are the plays I like to get long on all day. I mean, it's the perfect, see, everyone like sees these drops and they get all like freaked out, like, oh. Whereas I see this and I'm like, that's a buying opportunity, right? Because that's when everyone's freaking out. They're like, holy shit, it's down like 60 points or 20, but I'm freaking out. That's the time to buy. So, yeah, I would say watch it long. I really would. I should probably buy that myself. I should probably buy that myself. I might buy that today. Thank you for that. PCG, yeah, right now PCG is right below its 200 moving average on the daily chart, so it is starting to pull back a little bit today around that 25. I would probably be neutral on it because it is still below its 200 moving average. If it starts to break over the 200 moving average, that's where I can consider maybe it's starting to change trend to the upside, but for now I'd just be neutral on PCG. Wasn't an offering, yeah. So I don't know. I would have to do a little. I would do more research on it myself before I just jump in. But I do like that. I mean, ideally, you'll probably see BHVN up to 46, but 46 is the determining point of whether or not it squeezes up to like 50 or 52. Like without a doubt, it would usually make it back to like 46, test that pullback area, and then have one pullback day, and then if it wants to, it breaks over like the second attempt day, and then that's where the big money is made on these sorts of plays, is when it gets over its pullback area, right? Like they always come down hard, but then they always have a pullback and then get re-shorted. So it's like when it makes it back up to that price level that it was resold at, which is 46 here, you can see that candle. That's going to be where people try to hop back in and sell it down again, which usually creates like a small red or really boring day. But if it breaks that, that's where it has that bigger move because, you know, some short sellers get squeezed and it breaks out a bit. So I think up to 46 is pretty good play. Over it is questionable, but that's what you're looking for. How do I know ATAI was going to go bad? Because this is what I do for a living every single day. I get multiple questions on stocks like that all the time. Just experience, right? I've been doing it for a long time. So how did I know? It really was experience. I could give you 100 reasons why, but it just comes down to experience, seeing stocks like that multiple times, trading it. It's just not the right stock for the day. Yeah, Bill, yeah, basically this is what it's like. As a member, when you join into our service, right? I mean, it's fairly cheap, you know, so I always say to people, if you want to test it out, give it a try. I mean, you're not going to break the bank coming in and working with us, but generally what it's like, you know, this is what it would be like. Like, let me go into a stock. Let's actually, we could do ROKU yesterday because I got long ROKU in the beginning of the day. Didn't do a recap yesterday, but I only made about $300 or something, like $400 on the day. Was up about 800, gave back 400, was mad at myself, so I stopped trading. But I traded this yesterday. It didn't have as big of a move as I wanted to, but I planned to get long over like this red dotted line. So basically, as soon as ROKU opened up, I mean, this is an example where I was like, all right, guys, well, I'm planning on getting long ROKU. I was like, all right, 1,000 shares. Boom, bought. All right, guys, I'm long ROKU. Pops up insulated here. I sell 700 shares, and then I hold some more and sell some more. So every time I'm in a trade, you'll know that I'm in a trade. Doesn't necessarily mean you'll be able to get in on the same trade because sometimes they happen pretty fast. Occasionally, there might be a trade that moves slower, but when you're doing momentum day trading, you have to be able to see the value as I'm seeing it. If I see it, then you wait for me to trade it. It usually becomes a little bit too late. But all my trades are always mentioned live. Occasionally, there might be a trade that isn't mentioned live, but that's usually if I'm not online anymore, or it was something that was so fast that if I just told everybody, it wouldn't even matter. So, but generally, always done live. No, I usually trade the first hour of the day and then I get done. Running past time. Sorry about that. Gotta run, guys. Gotta get back to the private group. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week for some more streams. Other than that, everybody, take care. Have a green day, and don't blow your account.